Have you ever sat down to enjoy a steaming, hot plate of fried tilapia and posho and wondered, where did it actually come from? Fishing is a vital economic engine for millions of people across East Africa. This industry provides daily jobs, a steady income for families, and the primary source of healthy protein for the region. This map shows us where the fish originates. East Africa's fishing grounds are split into two categories. First, inland freshwater lakes, with Lake Victoria, Kyoga, and Albert highlighted here. The second is our marine grounds along the Indian Ocean coast. These water bodies are so massive that Lake Victoria alone can feel like an inexhaustible resource. But looking at this sprawling lake next to a dense fishing village, we have to ask a difficult question. If these waters are so massive, how is it possible that our future fish supply is actually in danger of running out?
To understand a problem, we first need to look at how we harvest the fish. This image shows traditional fishing. Using simple wooden canoes, hooks, and woven baskets costs very little. They catch smaller amounts of fish, mostly to feed their own families. This table breaks down traditional versus modern fishing. First, modern methods rely on motorboats and large nets to harvest massive quantities. But looking below, the trade-off is clear. This volume brings more income, but carries a high risk of damaging the environment. Once the fish are pulled from the water, the clock is ticking. In East Africa's hot climate, fresh fish will rot and spoil in a matter of hours if they aren't processed immediately. This photo reveals how we solve that problem. Fishers preserve their catch by salting, freezing, or, as seen here, smoking them over large fire beds. This stops the rotting process and allows the fish to reach distant markets. For smaller catches, like these tiny mukene or silverfish, the most common preservation method is laying them out to dry directly under the hot sun. These modern harvesting and preservation methods are incredibly efficient, but this efficiency is exactly what is driving a hidden crisis beneath the waves. We call this crisis overfishing. It is a simple mathematical reality. Overfishing happens when we catch fish from a lake faster than the remaining adult fish can naturally reproduce and replace them. Net design dictates if a population survives. This legal, wide mesh net catches mature fish but allows small babies to slip through to grow. However, illegal, tightly woven mosquito nets act like a solid wall, capturing and killing immature babies, leaving the water completely empty. And the fish that do survive the nets face a second major threat: widespread water pollution. Heavy rains wash toxic agricultural fertilizers and harsh, untreated industrial waste directly from the land into these once pristine lakes. This picture shows how the growth of lakeside towns makes things worse. Mountains of garbage are dumped directly on the shorelines, poisoning the exact habitats that these vulnerable fish rely on to survive. When combining the killing of the youngest fish with the poisoning of their home water, the once thriving wild lakes will eventually become entirely barren and lifeless if nothing changes to our current practices. To stop this, we have to practice sustainable use. That means enforcing strict laws against illegal nets and pollution so that the wild lakes have time to heal and rebuild their populations. But people still need a reliable food supply. Introduce the most successful, proactive solution to our fish shortage: aquaculture, also known as fish farming, which allows us to grow fish on land. Farmers are already putting this solution into practice today in rural Ugandan districts like Wakiso and Mukono. As we see in this photo, it involves digging man-made ponds directly into the landscape. This cross-section illustrates a man-made fish farm. An inlet pipe brings fresh water to mimic a natural lake. Farmers stock the pond with fast-growing tilapia and provide floating nutrient pellets. To keep fish healthy, a drainage pipe continually removes waste, handling the process sustainably. By treating fish like a crop we can grow and harvest, we give farming families a steady source of income while removing the daily pressure from our wild lakes. Our lakes and rivers are incredible treasures. By rejecting destructive nets, stopping all water pollution, and embracing aquaculture science, we can guarantee that our children and grandchildren will always have a fresh plate of East African fish to enjoy.